open session.
So,
Make a motion. Go ahead.
second.
Okay, the motion has been properly moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion carries. We are now in open session. Certification of closed session. Whereas the Essex County School Board has convened a closed meeting of this date pursuant to an affirmative record vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3711, parentheses A, parentheses 1 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Essex County School Board hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, if only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting to which the certification applies, and two, that only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered. The board clerk will now certify board members.
Mr. Croxton,
I certify.
Mrs. Sidner,
I certify.
Mr. Bruni,
I certify.
Ms. Bunyan. I certify.
The clerk of the board will now do the roll call.
Mr. Croxton,
Here.
Mrs. Sidner,
Here.
Mr. Bruni,
Here.
Ms. Bunyan.
Here.
All right, at this time, Reverend Cornelius Holmes, please come forward and give us an invocation. Reverend Holmes is the pastor of First Baptist Church, Tappahannock. He's going to give the invocation. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to new board members. The school board is asked for invocation, suggesting that they know God to be present. So let us pray. Lord, give us wisdom and understanding. Give us transparency. And help us speak truth.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Holmes. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I get a motion on closed session agenda items?
I motion to accept the personnel agenda as amended regarding 4 resignations, terminations, retirements, 3 appointments, 2 payouts, 1 volunteer, 2 supplements.
All right, may I get a second?
Second.
The motion has been properly made and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. The motion carries for closed session agenda items. Next is a superintendent's report. Dr. Jones, what do you have for us?
I do not have much. I
Okay.
believe we're going to have quite a bit of discussion later this evening. We'll hear from some folks. I'm not going to take up too much time. But to say thank you all for coming out tonight. That is very much appreciated. Your voice is important to us, so we appreciate all of you in advance who are going to be speaking. Speaking of speaking, on not this coming Wednesday, but next Wednesday, the 17th, you are welcome to join me and our team for coming meet and greet with the superintendent over at Essex High School at 6 in the evening. If you have not heard, we're going to do just a small event, or maybe a big event if all of you all come out over the high school next Wednesday on the 17th. We will see you there. And last thing, I believe that for those folks who are not here tonight, friends of yours, our board meeting is posted to the website the next day. So for those of you who can't be here, please feel free to share with them if they want to go back and see some of the things we talked about today, particularly the consolidation presentation. You're welcome to go and view the website tomorrow to get the recording to this meeting. All right, I don't have anything else right now, so thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Next is the consent agenda. I just noticed that field trip requests were uploaded. Must have been late today. Is that right? Okay. So if you guys are not comfortable approving those, I'm not going to put any pressure on you because that was you probably have not had a chance to review them. But also looking at the list, I don't think it's, I think we can pretty safely approve them. They've all come up through Ms. Scott.
Yes.
We're good to go.
If you are.
Okay. You guys comfortable with
Yep.
approving those? Okay. All right. Just let's try to work back towards the 2 weeks prior is what we really desire, but as soon as we can. And then if I could also make a request, like on these items, if we can put like in the verbiage or in the file name of the attachment, like CAO, current as of, put a date time stamp on there. So I know that if I did my preparation, this morning and then I see something with a newer date, I know I need to look at that. It's very hard to tell what you've already looked at and what you haven't. So if you can probably put it, each time you upload something, just put a CAO and a date and a time, that would be really helpful in the body of the agenda. That would be great. Okay, so with that in mind, we have minutes and field trip requests are really the only substance to this part of the agenda. So if I can get a motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety as presented, I would entertain that now.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
May I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the consent agenda as presented is approved. I did have one question about there's no discipline report. I realize we're just barely a month into school. Is that
And the new person hasn't started.
okay? Gotcha. Is it not possible to get that from the principals? Okay. All right. Just we're early for next month, but let's get on track with that. I realize there's the person that normally does that is inbound for that position. All right. Next is public comment. We had a lot of people sign up for public comment, which is wonderful. But what we're going to have to do in this case, according to our board policies, we have to limit the public comment to 3 minutes for each speaker. We have 11 people signed up. So at this time, we invite public comment. Public comment at board meetings is just one of many avenues for communication, and the board recognizes and appreciates the importance of input from and communication with the public we represent. The board invites members of the public who wish to address the board to submit their comments to the clerk of the board no later than 12 p.m. on the day of the meeting. The board will allow each individual to speak up to 3 minutes to express their views. Please respect that time limitation. The clerk of the board will enforce the time limitation. The board chair will solicit generic responses from board members at the conclusion of public comment and may direct members of the Essex County Public Schools administration to investigate such concerns or to consult with the member of the public who raises a concern. The board also encourages members of the public to utilize the process for lodging complaints against individuals contained in the applicable school board policy before bringing those complaints to the board as a whole. The public may feel free to contact individual members of the school board directly with concerns if desired. As a reminder, it is inappropriate at a public meeting to make personal attacks, to be defamatory, or to disparage individuals or identifiable groups. Again, we welcome and appreciate your input. Prior to beginning your comment, please state your name and your voting district to the school board. So first up, I have the Honorable Mr. Ray Whitaker.
Good afternoon. Raymond Whitaker, South District. Matter of fact, I used to represent that district for 16 years. I want to start off with acknowledging and recognizing people that you already know. Dr. Jones, Dr. Daniels, Dr. Paul, and Mr. Hill. I recognize them because they are our county leaders of education. This man said, what's best for children? I know that because I'm a firm believer. Go get your kids wherever they are and take them wherever they go. That was my motto, that was my philosophy when I taught that. I taught that for 42 years. The other thing I would like, and I'll say, is that these individuals, other than Dr. Daniels, have just gotten here. I would encourage us to surround the wagon when it comes to these leaders, when it comes to school consolidation consideration. We cannot leave them out. We need their input. We need their guidance. Now, I'm not telling you when or how to do this, but I'm encouraging you to make sure we take advantage of the leadership that we have. We have a board member who just made comments that inspired me about him. he's been in the same role I've been in. By the way, I've been in education 49 years.
I worked with you my first year, so I know a lot of
Absolutely.
comments.
So you know where we're coming from. And so I would also say, let's not lead our these folks, our parents, our citizens of Essex County. This is their school. It's their school because like me, they pay taxes. June 5 and December 5, I pay taxes. So let's make sure that we can be all that we can be, the best that we can be. 99.5 won't do. Gotta have 100. So I'm telling all of you, let's work together. Let's become a team. By the way, I also coached basketball for 19 years. So I know what it's like to be a team. Fortunately, I went to the state one time. But right now, I'm still the winningest basketball coach in the history of that school. So I take pride in that. And I'm almost done. But the main thing is the unity that we need to have, the challenges are there. There's no question about that. I know we're up to the task. We have a main thrust right here that can accomplish that. So that doesn't bother me. But I want to see the unitedness of the capability of doing what we can do and being all we can. And I say, I think I have one more thing. Then I can sit down. I understand the financial report, centralizing financial services and so forth, but I'm gonna tell you now, I'm opposed to it. Yeah, I said it. I only worked here, like I said, 49 years. Give it back to this man. Now, I know you can't do it tomorrow, I understand that. And he's not gonna do that to y'all, but I'm gonna say it for him.
Okay.
This is his school. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Whitaker.
I'm done.
Reverend Holmes.
Good evening again to the board. A 5-minute presentation, so I'm going to condense it to 3 minutes. First thing I want to say is thank you for being here and what you're doing. I would like us to go back to being able to sign up at 6:30 for the meeting. Just like tonight, today, we had a 5 o'clock session. You may have questions to ask. We got to wait a whole week before we can address those questions, so don't be afraid of us. We talk about transparency. Transparency is saying I'm available to make things clear. On September the 17th, a new superintendent is saying, come and talk to me. We need a town hall meeting so we can talk to you all, not be limited to 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, where we can just talk freely back and forth to each other. So please, let me know what I have to do so we can set up a town hall meeting where the public can talk to the school board members. Other thing is, sometimes we pass off, I've heard talking about the Department of Education, we pass it off like it wasn't important. The Department of Education is a very important part of the federal government. It was created because the states weren't making sure that the public give people opportunity for education. So make sure you do your research. And don't just listen to what comes out of the White House. Because unfortunately, the White House said the people of Baltimore were born to kill. We're born to cut someone's throat. And so we can't just listen to what someone says. We still got to do our research. And people aren't born to kill, they're not born to hurt. And the other thing I just want to say is that please support these new leaders that we have. Don't twist their arms. Don't make it political. We want to make sure we do the best for our students. And as far as the consolidation is concerned, repairs. If we have a car, we repair it when we can afford to repair it. We buy it when we can afford to buy it. So we do have time on our hands. And get the community involved. Have a town hall meeting and see where the public is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Holmes. Valerie Taylor.
Good evening, Dr. Jones, Ms. Saunders, and school board members. I am Valerie Taylor, I live in the Central District. First, I would like to ask again, will the school board meetings be live streamed again? I asked that question last month, but have not gotten a response. I did hear what Dr. Jones said, that it will be up the next day. That's not the same thing as live streaming. Next, has the budget been frozen? If so, why? Is it the entire budget or a line item? in the community is said to be a hiring freeze. Why a hiring freeze? All positions have not been filled adequately. There needs to be additional staff hired to support the students of Essex with the best academic and emotional instruction. School has only been open for 4 weeks, and you want to go on a hiring freeze? Do you think this is in the best interest of the Essex students? And don't worry, I'll be asking this as a board supervisor tomorrow night, so don't worry, it's not just you. Thirdly, school consolidation was discussed in the work session. How can school consolidation be such a top priority at a time when the schools are understaffed and are not staffed with the qualified staff it requires? What is the real reason behind wanting to consolidate the schools? And let's be honest and transparent. I have thoughts, and so do others. However, you as board members should be honest enough to inform the citizens of Essex with the truth behind wanting to consolidate the schools. Maybe if you were honest, you could gain the support of those who oppose the consolidation. Fourthly, I want the public to know I did email all of you about the social media postings published by a candidate running for a school board seat. Again, I want to remind each of you and the candidates to uphold high standards and values. If not, Essex County Public Schools and the Essex County School Board will be receiving another blemish on its face. As I said in my email to you, let not our school board candidates fall into the trenches that politicians seem to do to each other just to win a seat and not serve the people who rely on them to make the best decision which will benefit all. Yes, there is an election in November, but our student lives continue forever. Finally, when would this board attend required governance training for school board members? Please don't ignore my questions or any other questions brought forth to you tonight. The decisions you make have a lifelong effect on our students. Decisions made for ego, pride in a select few, and on money are devastating to all. Be the school board the students must have to prosper. Thank you for listening, and I'll be waiting to hear from you. God bless each of you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Michelle Dungy.
My name is Michelle Dungy. I'm kind of like Robert Holmes. I have 5-minute speech, so I'm going to try to condense it to 3 minutes. I am a resident of the Greater Tallahassee District, and I would like to thank the school board and the county for your hard work and dedication throughout the years. So I want to be clear, I'm addressing the board right now as a parent, not as an employee. I need that to be very clear. So we're talking about consolidation again, and I'm still not sure why. I sat through this work session, I sat through multiple work sessions, I've sat through many other meetings dealing with consolidation, and I'm not quite sure why we are here again. My biggest concern, well, not one of my biggest concerns is, but I want to know who's going to foot the bill for this, because I pay taxes like Mr. Whitaker does, but I pay 2 times, because I pay to the town and the county. So if the county is refusing to give us money for simple things like staff raises, where are we getting this millions of dollars to help try to fund this project? The memorandum that came from the Central Financial Services stated that we were getting ready to end the school year from last year in a deficit. So where are we getting money to even start to fund this project and or start it? Because if we have this money to fund this project, so to speak, we would have had the money to fund the staff, to make sure we were getting our raises, to make sure that there wasn't a shortage of bus drivers, to make sure that they were not leaving because they were not getting paid accurately, and so on. We have tried moving the high school to the 8th grade to high school many years, many times, and it has not worked. Those 8th graders are not academically, behaviorally, socially, or emotionally ready to be with adolescents that are older than them. So why are we trying this again? And furthermore, one of the options that seems to be the one that we're going for, because that's the one that's noted on that last page of the capital improvement plan, you're trying to put 6th and 7th graders over on the high school campus. And then it's the notion that they're not ever interacting with the older students, and that's not true. I'm a teacher, I'm a parent, I'm a visitor. I see the interactions all day long. Schedules do not allow for these students of all age levels to be separate, and now we're trying to condense them into one. I've seen the bullying as a parent. I've seen the smoking. I have seen the vaping. I have seen the inappropriate clothing and language that is given at many events, and just walking through the building And again, we want to mix younger kids with the older kids, when we haven't even addressed those concerns as well. I understand you don't have discipline report, but I would employ each school board member to actually spend some real time in the buildings, not walking by asking, hey, how are you doing? You teach this class? How many students you have? And keep it moving. Spend real time in the buildings to see what is really going on. We're talking about putting younger students again with older students.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Dungy. Charmaine Younglady.
Good evening to all assembled here, board members, Dr. Jones, Ms. Saunders, Charmaine Younglady, Central District. And I'm here to express my concerns with the consolidation plans. The last time this was presented, the justification was because of low birth rates, which in turn impacts our school enrollment. From what I've gathered, enrollment at one of our schools has slightly increased this year. Also, for other districts within our area, birth rate is not a concern to them. And you know why? It's because they have increased housing opportunities for their families, which in turn increases their school enrollment. Essex County has no new housing opportunities here, but yet and still our enrollment has shown a slight increase. So that is to show you that families are willing to invest in ECPS if the leaders are willing to invest in it. It was also previously explained that a bond, this was when the consolidation plans were mentioned before, that a bond could potentially cover the cost of consolidation plans. In my research, and please Google this to everyone else, I found that there are two bonds that can be used. They are a revenue bond and a general obligation bond. Revenue bonds are covered by tax assessments. A general bond is based on tax assessments that are currently in place. If the county currently has a revenue bond that is being canceled, which was mentioned earlier today, would those new funds be available to cover this new consolidation debt? That is a question that should be disclosed to the public. So whichever bond is used to cover the cost of the construction plans, it will impact the county residents and their taxes. And also, since there are no plans for new housing, which could generate funds to cover the consolidation plans, we can't expect current residents to cover these costs. Once again, Google it and you'll see how the bonds work, and we need to ask ourselves these questions before moving forward. Next, pushing through consolidation plans without knowing the status of how things are going with the centralization of the school system and the county government is concerning. Because right now, I'm feeling like we're being forced to consider the consolidation of schools without a clear understanding. It was all in the papers just a few months ago that we were having some issues with money. So if that was a concern then, and we're concerned about the management of the money that this board oversaw, then why are we pushing consolidation when there's a concern about money? Now, this needs more oversight, this whole process, because this is not making sense. Plus, it seems that we still need to hire staff. How is the centralization helping with that since the school system no longer has control? Are we prioritizing consolidation over our kids? And where can I find the full breakdown of this budget? Because I'm still struggling to find it. So if someone has that, please send it to me. Seeing the breakdown of the budget will help me to understand where our money is going and not going. And if we're doing this to make our school better, then where's the panel to discuss all of this? A panel to discuss the needs of the system, the state of our schools, building needs, staffing needs, monetary expenses, and whatever is what happens once a school is vacated is what we need to discuss. Transparency is needed if you want your community to understand. And right now, I don't think there's enough of that in this process, and we need that.
Thank you, Ms. Younglady. Jamie Gomes.
Good evening, Dr. Jones, Ms. Saunders, and members of the board. My name is Jamie Gomes, and I live in the Greater Tappahannock District. I'm here tonight as a concerned parent to seek improvement regarding the number of virtual classes currently being taken by Essex High School students, especially in core subjects. I understand that sometimes virtual instruction is necessary, but the balance seems to be off with many required core classes being virtual. More importantly, I'm deeply concerned about how these classes are being staffed, or in many cases, not adequately staffed. Our children deserve certified in-person teachers, and staffing those classes with this in mind should be a #1 priority. If substitutes or paraprofessionals must be used, they should receive specialized training to support our students based on the educational requirements of the online platform courses. Right now, students are being left to navigate technical issues, complex course structures, assignments, and due dates on their own with little to no guidance. I want to ask directly, where do we currently stand in terms of ensuring these virtual classes are staffed with certified teachers? Why am I hearing about a hiring freeze? And what is the district doing to prioritize this? It seems like the consolidation and centralization efforts currently underway, however well-intentioned, are being prioritized over the immediate needs of our students. And while I understand the need for long-term planning, our high school students are in classrooms right now without consistent direct instruction in core subjects. That is not acceptable. I urge the board and district leadership to take a hard look at real-time impact of these decisions. What are our priorities? But from where I stand, our students are not getting what they need right now, and they can't afford to wait for long-term plans to play out. The district should be focused on recruiting and retaining highly qualified teachers now, regardless of discussions about consolidation and centralization that may or may not continue to take place.
Thank you, Ms. Gomes. Allison Colson.
I'm Allison Wilson, I live in the Central District. I am here today to ask if you've hired a director of special education to oversee the special education department. If you have not, when do you plan on hiring someone qualified for this position? I also noticed that this position and others have been removed from the website. Does this mean the qualified personnel have been hired for all of these positions? If not, please explain to me what is happening. I need to make sure my child has all the teachers he needs in order to have a successful school year. I will be waiting for a time response. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Colson. Hannah Patterson.
Good evening, everybody. Everyone's here. I've come to you to offer a few concerns, questions, and comments. My name is Ann Patterson again. I'm a proud mother of a student at TES and a former JCIS employee. To preface, I did not plan on leaving my teaching position at JCIS. It was a difficult decision made at a breaking point, and I miss my coworkers and students every single day. But stepping away does not mean I can no longer advocate for their needs. I cannot speak for others. I cannot place blame on one specific person. However, in a community as small as ours, I'm sure we all have the same or similar concerns. To be direct, I am highly opposed to consolidation right now. Here, right now. My first concern, teacher to student ratios and staffing standards. Teachers already face unmanageable ratios, lack consistent support from paras and special education staff beyond their own control. We are morally and legally obligated to meet the needs of every single child, including the significant number who have IEPs and behavior plans. When staff are spread too thin, it becomes impossible. Consistency matters for these children. They thrive on stability. The in and out of teachers is not working. I urge you to examine why they're leaving. Retention needs to be priority with the staff members, and I was a little discouraged to see on social media that we were hiring full-time teaching positions for people pursuing an associate's degree. As a parent, that's a little concerning, and it lowers the standards for, student mental health. That is, support for that is non-existent. Testing, all of it, I, as a teacher, most teachers in here wear many hats, but we can only do so much with our class sizes. Another question, have we thought through a brief, no former employee should remain in the payroll system and continue to receive payments or benefits without their knowledge. Quietly trying to fix the problem, avoiding proper contact are not the best approach. Responding strategically by sending emails minutes before the end of the day, not the way to go. Prevents timely resolution and undermines trust. Does not make me feel that I was ever a better person. So at the end of the day, I'm urging you to think more proactively, proactively, and slow down. There's no need to have this done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson. James Trueheart? James Trueheart here? Okay, moving on. Ernestine Fauntleroy?
My name is Ernestine Fauntleroy. I live in the South Woodland District. I am a retired teacher. I come before you this evening to address the issue of textbooks and the upcoming history textbook adoption and my reasoning for it. I was wondering why spend more money on new textbooks if they're going to get thrown away, just get thrown away. Last year, I mentored one of our fourth grade teachers at TES, and in preparation for the upcoming SOS, I was trying to prepare some study information to assist the teacher in classroom. I wanted a hard copy of Virginia Studies book, textbook, and I, along with the help of another parent, searched the board on high and low to find the books to be available. I called JCIS, textbooks. The result was that the books had been discarded during the transition of the fourth grade back to TES by the previous administration. They said that they weren't needed. So, with the help of the current librarian at the elementary school, he emailed me a digital copy of the textbooks to use. I know that technology is a way to go, but sometimes it's just good to have a book in children's hands to use. I said all of that to say this: we adopt textbooks because of new and updated information. When the books get outdated, can we just try to partner with another school system that may be in need, that can't afford to purchase new materials, instead of just throwing things in the dumpster? This has happened time and time again with reading, math, science series at the school. After we give all that we can to the children, and we have given copies of books over the years, reading books and things for the kids to take home. But I just hate to see materials being thrown in the trash can. So my thing is, I would love to see if we could just partner with somebody to give these books to other school systems that can't afford it. Lastly, this is all already been brought up, I would like to see monthly meetings be brought back live on YouTube. Sometimes people's scheduling can't allow them to be here in person, or if they may be out of town, which they happened to me once before. And it gives them a chance to watch in real time and not waiting. And I was just wondering what was the reason for not watching it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Fauntleroy. Orlando, Washington.
Good evening. Good evening to all the board members, good evening to the public, and the people. I meant to be long by now. I emotionally did not want to even get up here to speak. Kind of got blindsided today, because that's not where the last meeting I was at, it was real hostile. This meeting seemed the same. And we're parents, adults here, and we wonder, what kind of example are we setting for our children setting amongst this? The thing I want to say is this: I want to say thank you to Mr. Pitts, Dr. Moss, Dr. Daniels, Dr. Jones. I think they have further to drive than any of us here tonight, and yet they're here. Out of them, I did tell one of them not to even come here and apply after talking to him. I did, because I cared enough about him to know that this may not be the move for him. And the first meeting he came to, it was trash. And this meeting, about the same way. I need y'all to understand leadership is vitally important. Don't hire this man if you're not going to let him do this. I trust him. I trust him wholeheartedly. I've had meetings with Dr. Jones. I've actually talked to Mr. Pitts. Had a wonderful meeting with Dr. Hoss just the other day concerning the child. And they care. They care. And drive all the way here to this little town to try to make a difference. So, gentlemen, I personally apologize to you for this mess that you're looking at. I'm sorry on behalf of the people. And I voted in the Tappahannock district. I can walk home for me. So I'm sorry. That being said, these are a few things that were brought to my attention. During the break, there was a town hall meeting right here tonight. And I swear to God, if you were here to hear it, you would have learned a lot. One of the biggest things I heard tonight was it's not a us versus them thing. These are our children. This is our future. These are the people that are going to take care of us when we're older. When I get to Mr. Whitaker's age, I need to know my great grandkids got a coach like him. So I'm trying to wind this thing up and give a positive note to it tonight. I ain't no preacher by far, and I'm trying not to cuss, so pray for me. I'm doing my best. We do need to have a town hall meeting, and I hope that meeting with you, sir, turns into one. I really do, because I believe the people will come. I believe in all of my heart that you really want to make a difference. Because before this, we had a big old bear behind the door where students and people who work here didn't even want to speak up. So thank y'all for speaking up, because you don't have that in your way anymore. Okay? That being said, it is my understanding that there are some issues going on with pay and all that. Some people had issues with pay. I'm not going to get into it because I didn't read the entire note. But I do need us to understand that the children, he said it, this man said it, that the children are the first priority. I don't know much about the budget. I do know about money. But I will say this, I spend more time with dead people. I'm happier there than I have here tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. All right, board members, at this time, I will invite you to make any generic responses. If you heard anything that you can answer, or question that you can answer, so that the crowd doesn't go home with misinformation, this will be the time to do it. Please don't respond directly to anyone, but just generically. I have a bunch, like a half a page, but I'll allow any of you to go first if you want to.
Well, I'll just be brief, but I will say that in regards to the live stream, we had decided not to go live stream during the meetings. It were to go after the meeting, but I feel like if we're going to allow Billy Haley, and I'm sorry to say names, but I'm just going to be frank. If we're going to allow Billy Haley to live stream during our meetings, then we definitely want to consider and allow our meetings to be live streamed. So that's one thing that I would like to talk about in regards to that. I just think it would be only fair, because people that's looking at Billy is Billy friends. Not everybody is Billy friends. So, I just think that would be a serving to our community, so they can get a better understanding as far as where we're going with our meetings every month, I'm sorry. In regards to the consolidation, I know there are times that we're not really sure what we want to do and how we want to do it. One of my biggest concerns, and I mentioned it earlier, is the timing. I just feel like we're rushing this right now. We're rushing it, and when we go out to buy a car, someone mentioned about a car. When we go out to buy a car, you're not going to just go to one dealership and say, okay, I want this car. You're going to shop around. You're going to go to the Honda. You're going to go to Toyota. You're going to go to Ford, and you're going to see what's the best car. and you're not going to go home that same night with a car. So, you know, I've always been totally against the consolidation. I'm still not really fond of it, but if we have to go that route, I would love for us to do it as a community and spend time on investing and making sure that we're doing the right thing, because Dr. Jones mentioned, you know, if we make a decision right now, what mistakes are we making? Because we're making a decision right now. So, and again, I'm just gonna close with saying that it's for the children. It's not for me, it is for the children. You know, I'm here for the children. I don't have any children in the school division. I don't have any grandkids here, but I'm a product of Essex, and I love Essex, and I want the best for Essex. It's not a personal gain. It's all about the children. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Ms. Bundy. Mr. Bernier, just generic responses to things you heard pointed out in the questions that you could resolve and clarify. That's what we'd like.
To the parent that mentioned about concerns for receiving services for their child. I mean, not to get into details. I have a child with I was a special education teacher for 10 years. I understand the services are extremely important, and we'll make sure we take care of that situation. Also, in comments to the Virtual Virginia quarter, the virtual courses, I assume that for Virtual Virginia, that's a general question for you. So those should be certified teachers. I have a concern. My background is also in technology, and I know that it's an unfortunate future of education, because you are taking teachers out of the classroom, and they should be in front of the students. There needs to be a happy medium with that as well, because you're talking, use an example, King County has a virtual academy now. That's part of their school system, you know, and that's removing, but that's still removing teachers from the front of students. So it's the future of education, but it needs done with fidelity for students. You know, there should be some options for that, but I mean, if we're using Virtual Virginia, you know, there should be teachers that are certified, and it's still a concern that so many students are taking online courses. It's a concern to me, even as an educator, and as a parent, and taxpayer, and even as a board member. So.
Thank you, Mr. Brunig. Ms. Sidner?
No, I just think everybody just needs to just take time and just listen to each other and understand we're not trying to push this on you or anything. It is just a plan, just something to look at for the future, to see how we do this. And don't look at us like we're trying to do something underhanded. We're not. That's why we had the man here tonight, to show you everything and show you where if you lived in a house, a bigger house than what you need to, and your heating and all your expenses were so expensive, but you're just living in this one little portion of your house, you would downsize if you could. And that's all we're saying with this. Sometimes you have to look at the overall picture. It may not happen overnight. It won't happen overnight. But you've got to look at what you've got and go from there.
Thank you, Ms. Sidner. So in order, just some things I heard, some questions that I'd like to resolve right now. Any reference to the Department of Education that was thrown out? I'm maybe the only one who said it tonight. That was for the Virginia Department of Education. You know, we have very little impact from the Federal Department of Education that's, you know, specific. I mean, they give us about 2% of our budget, but that was Virginia Department of Education, to clarify that. To another speaker, we are absolutely receiving governance training. We did last month. We're going to later tonight. We're going to next month, and we're going to continue. We're going to do a little governance training almost every meeting. That's something that I've incorporated into the agenda. So thank you for the input, but just know that we're doing it. Let's see. There's two types of money. There's operational funds and there's capital funds. They're completely separate. It's just like in your home. You have a checking account or a savings account, and you have a mortgage if you're on your own. They're completely separate. One's long-term, low-interest funding. One's what you get by day-to-day on. It's no different for us. So many of the things that are being thrown around about affordability are getting conflated. We're talking about the decision to consolidate campuses. The money to pay for the construction is capital funding. It's long-term, low-interest, kind of like your mortgage. But the decision to operate the building, that's your operational fund. So the very same money that pays our teachers' salaries and gives them raises is the same money that heats and cools a building that's 51% occupied. So are you satisfied with that? I'm not, personally. But that's the reality. It's the same money. It's the same money and the same budget. So we're competing with ourselves in that regard. Let's see, two types of money, completely separate. Other divisions in the area. It was mentioned that other divisions, must have different enrollment. No, they all have the same thing. We just saw a 100-year-old private school right here in our community close down the same underlying issue. For several decades, fewer people are getting married, fewer people are having kids, and if they choose to have kids, they're having fewer kids. It's been happening for 40 years. The rate in the United States is 1.59. That's not even replacement rate. Replacement rate is 2.1. It's happening around the world. It was just announced earlier this summer. It was the largest graduating class in the United States of America ever, and it will never, ever, it will always go down. So these are mathematical certainties that are the underlying issues. The two counties in every direction around us, the reason they're more at capacity is because they did this 10 years ago. They closed the building 10 years ago and consolidated. So it's already happened. So we've just been, we've not been confronting this issue until now. It can hardly be said that we're rushing. We've been talking about it for the 3.5 years that I've been on the board, and but we haven't really moved out on just taking the next step forward. So again, nobody wants to do it, but I think as board members, we have that responsibility to manage the resources and provide oversight for the school division, even when it's unpopular. A question was asked about the SPED director. They'll be on board October 1st. I think the person was not available until then, but they have been hired. They'll be starting October 1st. So we're just as anxious as you are to have them on board. Someone mentioned they'd love to see the detail on the budget. The budget was passed in a public meeting on May 12th. It's on board docs. It's right there for you to see. Okay, it's on board docs, action item, May 12th agenda item. I promise I just checked to verify. But everything we've done is in an open meeting, and it's on there for everybody to see. So please go and review that at your leisure. It's on May 12th agenda item. This board, it's been said multiple times, priority's got to be the kids. Well, everybody agrees with that, but we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We have to work multiple issues in parallel. We can't just say, oh, we got to only focus on this and let everything else, break, and then we'll switch to the next. We got to work multiple issues. It's complex. There are multiple complex issues. So I hope you respect that. We're trying to balance all of those things, and at any one year, we're closing out last year's budget, we're operating this year's budget, and we're working on next year's budget. So we're working 3 years' budgets at any given moment. That's just the nature of this type of service, and if you ever get a chance to do that, you will understand what I'm saying. Teacher to student ratio, it's 1:18 now, and there's no intent to change it. That was said in our presentation. That is what we strive for, and that's what we have in many classes. Okay, I'll let our superintendent speak to that, but the goal is 1:18. We're trying to preserve that, knowing that the recommendation is 25% higher. A great idea was suggested to ensure that that used books that have exceeded their service life go to children. I think that's a great idea. I wasn't aware that was happening, so I appreciate you making that recommendation, and our staff will take that for action. Live streaming it wasn't really about fairness. The board decided the staff requested to do it because it's a manpower drain. Somebody stays here long after all of us are gone home to do the necessary processing to upload that and manage it for live streaming. It's much better preservation of resources to have them come in and just post it the next morning. Okay, that's all that was about. So anyone who can't be here, they can watch it in a very timely fashion and see everything that happened in the meeting. I'll also point out that many school divisions don't even record their meetings. They just post the audio recording of them. So we're always trying to balance things of utilizing resources with being transparent and giving the ability for you to monitor our meetings. And we didn't think that waiting until early the next day was too much of a sacrifice if you couldn't. The issue or the information is not that perishable. So that's all I had. Appreciate all of you speaking. It's wonderful when you do, and we appreciate such a good turnout for that. We're going to resume with our action item meeting. I need a motion to table or to move the action item on A, updated 25-26 calendar, because we have to have more discussion about it until later in the meeting when we come back out, or, yeah. So can I get a motion to move action item A to the end of the meeting?
I make a motion to move action item A to the end of the meeting.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, action item A, updated 25-26 calendar is moved to the end of the meeting right after FOIA training. All right, action item B, VSBA policy updates I through J. Hopefully you guys had a chance to review those. We've been looking at them since last month as an information item. Is there any questions or discussions about any of the policies that are included there for our review?
I think the big question I have is the mobile device self-link policy. That's been in place now by the state, and I guess what has been being done before that, this updated policy to manage that.
But to be honest, I'm not equipped to really answer what we've done prior to that at this point.
Any impact, or I guess any positive, negative? I mean, I know what I'm seeing right now in the school I'm in. It's positive. I just want similar happenings here.
Well, I can speak to for your awareness, probably 3 years ago, probably, one of the first divisions in the state, we locally decided to restrict cell phones, and I think it's been a very positive thing. I know when I walk through the schools, there's just this calm over the schools, and it's quiet, and I probably don't see when some of the kids are misbehaving, but I see a calm over the school. I think it's been a positive thing. But we did it a few years ago, so this mandate to do it was not very impactful, because we were already essentially doing it.
So what I can compare it to is my previous experiences, and so I do think we're in a pretty good place regarding the use of cell phones. No place isn't perfect, but we are in a good place with that. But I don't have the hard data at this point.
Just a question. Just first time seeing it.
Any other questions? All right, well, if there's no other questions, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve item B, VSBA policy updates as presented.
I make a motion to update the VSBA policy as you
As
said.
presented?
Yeah.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, the motion's been properly made and seconded. All in favor of approving VSBA policy updates I through J as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, ayes have it, and the motion carries. Item C, approval of financial reports. What I had the centralized services folks do is basically go back to the same format that we were used to looking at if you've been on the board more than a few months. And it's an expenditure summary report, check registers are there, and then if you recall, a few months ago, we put in a requirement that we continue to get reports from the previous fiscal year until that fiscal year is closed out, which is supposed to be later this coming week. So they're in there, so we can see how we're ending up last year. We can see how we're doing currently in this year, and then there's a highlight of revenue. I would. Just my technique, most of the accounts and most of the line items in the budget, and this level of granularity it kind of rolls up all the teacher salaries, so I think it's appropriate level for us. It's not as exhaustive as it can be in the full adopted budget, but you can see at a glance, if any line item is being over executed or under executed. Things that are like smooth flow all year long. Every month you should see that budget amount decrease by 8.33%. So I just at a glance, I look at it. We're 2 months into the school year, because this includes July and August. This report was run early September. So if I look for things that are, if a budget line item is expended more than 16.6%, then there should be a reason why. And it might be that it might be bus parts or something. We went ahead and stocked up on tires. So there may be some good reason, but if there's not a reason, then that should draw your attention and see what that reason is. And then if there's a budget line item that it is way under 16%, that would also beg the question of why is that? Why did we put too much money in that line item or not? But that's how I look at it, and that's how I kind of at a glance kind of review it and see if it makes sense. And just always ask yourself, does it make sense? So that's what that's about. Any questions about the revised August financial reports for August? All right. Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the financial reports as presented, item C.
Make a motion to approve item C as presented.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, the motion's been properly made and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. The approval of financial reports, item C, is approved. Okay, does anyone have any individual school board reports from any of your the committees that you're on, or any visits to schools or anything?
Our governor's school is not met yet. It's not this week. I believe it's next week.
Okay.
We have our first one.
All right. Hopefully when Mr. Hunley comes back, he'll give us an update on the Northern Ag Tech Center, because I think they have met at this point. I had a great occasion to, like I said, visit all three schools in the last week or so, and just couldn't be more pleased about the great things I saw going on. Shout out to Dr. Daniels. We had a Grandparents' Day this past Monday. I counted 250. Was there an official count? 250? I just looked, there's 20 tables in the cafeteria, and each one had 10 people, and then I counted 50 along the wall, so it's pretty easy math. But 250 grandparents that were out there that saw the amazing things we're doing, and hopefully they'll go out and tell others, because that's the thing. We're doing the amazing things, and yes, we have room for improvement. Clearly, we're always striving to be better, but we are doing amazing things, and we can't take that away. And we just need help getting that word out and having people know what amazing things we're. So thanks for the, and I'd applaud you even more if you said that you plagiarized that idea from somebody else, because that's smart. Doesn't have to be your original thought. You've done it before. Okay, but just a genius idea. I don't know that we've ever done it here before. Yeah, first time in Essex. So, and the line was backed up out the door, around the corner. And we were all, and because we had to take appropriate security concerns, obviously, to vet all these grandparents to make sure they were attached to an actual kid, and they fully understood. They didn't like standing in line, but they understood why, and I think they appreciated it. So it was a great presentation. Then they went and visited their classes. So kudos to you for taking that initiative, because you didn't have to do that. So thank you. And in fact, great visits with Dr. Hawes and Mr. Pitts as well, and I think great things are going on. We just got to get that story out and tell that story. So we rely on all of you to do that. So thank you very much. Anything else for board members?
Yes, just to piggyback about what you indicated with Dr. Daniels, because I was thrilled when I heard that you were going to have that, because me as being a grandparent, it's always been an honor to attend my granddaughter's school as far as Grandparents' Day, because we as grandparents play a vital part in our grandchildren's lives. So to hear that we were going to have it here, I was just overwhelmed with joy to hear that we were going to have it, because I knew we had never had that here. So I'm hoping that that's something that we can continue as an annual event every year, because as far as the social media, I mean, everyone really spoke very highly of it. We hear on social media, there's always negative comments and there's always positive, but it was just warmed my heart to hear so many positive comments on social media on Friday based on what you brought to Essex. So I was very thrilled with that. And also, I know he's not here tonight, but kudos to Todd Jones. He's done a great job with us in Essex, and it was brought to my attention that on August the 28th, I believe it was, he actually had his 250th win with us in Essex County. So I just think that's really great.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think it was 250th career win, but 219 of them have been here.
Oh,
so,
great. Yeah. So that's
thanks
great.
for pointing that out. That was excellent. Yep. We have a lot to be proud of. So thank you, Ms. Bundy. All right. We're going to go back into closed session, and then we're going to come back for just two quick things. One is FOIA training as part of our governance training, and then a decision on the calendar updates. But for right now, we're going to go back into closed session. So may I get a motion to enter into closed session for legal matters pursuant to the legal exception at 2.2-3711, parentheses A, parentheses 8 of the Code of Virginia, and review and discussion of personnel matters regarding 4 resignations, terminations, retirements, reappointments, 2 payouts pursuant to the personnel exemptions at 2.2-3711, parentheses A, parentheses 1 of the Code of Virginia. May I get a motion?
So move.
All right, may I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor of going into closed session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. We are now in closed session.
Sharon, you want this back, honey?